I like rain. This is the science fiction rating system, and I'm not prepared. We're here to talk about Next. It's a film, and I'm joined by Alex Humphrey.
Yep. Hello. Is it? Sam. Are you not prepared because you can actually see 2 minutes into the future? So you just thought, oh well, I'll be fine because I'll know what I'm going to say every 2 minutes.
Don't think it counts if it's you.
You just keep hearing silence every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what the film's about, is it? I've forgotten. Not really. I'm also joined by Chris Redding.
Hello.
And how is everyone doing? It's been a while.
Not bad.
Good.
Yeah.
All good?
Good.
This was a crazy couple of movies.
Yeah. So,
What's the theme?
The theme
Time.
is time.
Time.
There's a link between the films as well.
Are they Philip K. Dicks?
The one is, it's a less exciting link than that. Jessica Biel is the link.
Oh.
You know why?
She was married to Justin Timberlake?
Still is, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's next week's business. This week is Next, as I say, which is a Nicolas Cage...
What's this week? Because you said this week is Next. Okay, I'll stop.
Should we just skip this week? I mean, the host isn't prepared. Alex has already done a terrible joke.
I'm sorry.
Let's write it off.
Okay.
Right. I mean, full disclosure at home,
this week.
I didn't realise I was hosting. And so I've done a really piss poor job preparing for this. But never mind. I can remember it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So yeah, this Next. This is a film starring Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
And we've gone down a bit of a Cage hole. We talk about him more than watch him, don't we, I think, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
we did watch... what was the one we watched? Humanity Bureau, which was terrible.
Yep.
This is from a time when Nicolas Cage was a bit more mainstream. This was a big film.
But
when he could afford to be mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it crated at the box office.
I bet it did.
It might have something to do with his current predicament, really, that he can't get a good film. But it is directed by Lee Tamahori,
Yeah.
who also directed the Triple X sequel.
And Once Warriors, which is a good film.
What's the Warriors? He directed a Bond film, didn't he?
Yeah,
as well?
Die Another Day, and he
Die Another
did
Day,
The
yeah.
Devil's Double with Dominic Cooper.
Terrible Die Another Day.
That is
One
a
of the
bad
worst.
film, isn't it?
Yeah, but Once for Warriors it's like a New Zealand kind of action film. I might be wrong, but I thought it was the first film to have the Boba Fett dude in it. Temura Morrison.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's the guy.
Yes, I
There we
think that
go.
was the film that launched his career as well. So
Right.
yeah,
Well, he's not in this.
no,
But Nicolas Cage is. And Julianne Moore, who... She's all right. Overrated, I think. Jessica Biel.
yeah,
Columbo's in it. And a man called...
yeah. Weirdly for like 3 seconds, isn't he?
I mean, he was almost dead. It's his second last credit, isn't it?
Oh, is
it's,
it? Oh.
It's very old, Peter Falk. There's also a man called Tory Kittles in this film, which is a fantastic name.
Yeah, yep.
Tory Kittles.
Tory Kittles.
Right, so here's a setup. Nicolas Cage is a man called Frank Cadillac, and he's a magician who he puts on a show, doesn't he, at the start?
Yeah.
And he's a clairvoyant, but he doesn't. The show doesn't really use any of his powers, does it? Really?
No, I mean, because he gets that woman up, doesn't he? And he's
Yeah.
all like, oh, you're this, you're that. And he's like, oh, your necklace is going to fall off in 2 seconds or whatever. And then
Yeah.
it does.
But then it's in his back pocket, like it's a sleight of hand thing.
Yeah.
It's all sleight of hand.
Yeah. That woman...
But I guess it makes him a good magician in general, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does do a lot of silly, like, proper tricks, doesn't he?
Why do you think, though, he learnt real tricks, though? If he's clairvoyant, why bother learning real tricks?
Because, as he says in the voiceover,
Cover.
it's a cover because every once in a while what we think is magic is the real deal, hiding behind a $50 trick, because the alternative is impossible for others to live with.
Nice.
That's what he says.
Yeah, I forgot that there's a voiceover in this film. The
yeah.
voiceover kind of goes away, doesn't it, after about 5 minutes,
yeah.
and doesn't return until the very end. But yeah, Nick Cage is...
The woman he does the trick on is Alice Kim Cage, his ex-wife.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. One of several. Am I being a bit rude about Nick Cage here?
I don't think that's rude.
No.
Patricia Arquette, Lisa Marie Presley, Alice Kim, Arika Koki, and Riko Shibata. So I think...
Okay, we're bit of a pattern there, Nick.
Yeah, I think we know what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nicolas Cage, as we say, is a magician,
Yeah.
and Julianne Moore's in the audience, and she's thinking, this guy looks interesting,
I love how like her like assistant, the black guy, is just to be like, why are we here? Like, seriously,
Well,
what's going on? Like,
I mean, he's got a point, hasn't he, though, really?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we learn quickly that there's a nuke loose in America,
Yes.
and Julianne Moore seems to be pretty high up there in the sort
Yeah.
of disaster response.
Yeah.
And her great idea is there might be a man who can see
Yes.
the future.
Yeah. No, she is.
It seems like a far-fetched way to solve that problem.
Yeah.
It does.
I think that Julianne Moore in this film is the worst FBI agent ever. I think her
I can agree with
character is the because her entire plan for solving the missing nuke, all it is getting Nick Cage on board with this 2-minute thing he can do. And I don't, as he says quite clearly, unless it involves me directly, I cannot see what's going to happen. And okay, we could
Does
say
he tell her that, though, at the start, though?
well, I don't know, but we know it as the audience.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
also,
the war-
okay, a nuke going off is going to involve everyone, but
Well, it might do.
well, yeah, it might not. If he suddenly gets on a plane and goes to another country,
But also, we don't really know anything about what the terrorist plan is, do we? Or what the motive
Yeah,
is.
we don't know anything about the terrorists ever.
No.
It's just really stupid.
no.
And we don't see... They should have put a line in saying that exhausted every other angle. They don't really
Yes.
do that, do they?
No. In
It's
fact,
as though she's gone straight to her boss and gone...
yeah.
Gone straight to magic.
Yeah. And there's a scene, in fact, where they've got like a mustachioed like a big boss, haven't they? And he's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, what's going on here? Give me what's happening to everyone?" And this poor little guy comes out and he's like, "Well, we've got some tier 3 suspects and some tier 4 suspects, and we're kind of looking at them." And he's like, "Right, go on it." And then Julianne Moore's like, "Well, that's bullshit. You know what we should be doing? Getting Nicolas Cage in, because he can see 2 minutes."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, your plan isn't better. It should almost be that there's like 7 teams all doing different crazy things to stop this nuke. And hers... That'd actually be a way better film if she was like the kooky, weird one. That was her plan, was this Nicolas Cage character. And everyone else was doing more serious things.
It might be better, but it'd make more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Than her being respected.
No, she's doing that classic thing of being quite a good actress with absolutely terrible lines.
Yeah.
And just delivering them reasonably well, but they are all just trash. Like, every line she says is trash.
I think a better film also would have been that at the start of this film, as she starts to try and catch Nicolas Cage, she runs into the problem that, as we know, he's clairvoyant and
Yeah.
therefore can always outsmart her. The whole film should have just been like a Benny Hill sketch of him outsmarting her for 2
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I don't know why even the nuke had to exist, because as an asset, he's extremely useful. Why does it need to have this nuke issue? Why couldn't it just be the FBI want Nicolas Cage because he can do this thing?
I mean, the nuke thing is very much like, a back of the envelope bad guy, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
Russians in America with a nuke.
Well, they're all over the place. They speak French, English, like
They are, yeah,
or
they're
Russian.
just-
They're like Chris said. There's no backstory to them. They don't even have a name as a terrorist organisation, do they?
There's no demands that they have, are there?
No, they're
No.
All we know
They
about them
want-
is
they
they
want-
also...
they might have a good point.
Yeah,
they
don't
might
know,
have a
do
good
we?
point, yeah.
No one stopped to ask.
No, no. And they do, was jumping all over the place with the plot, but they also do the most ridiculous thing, because when they kidnap Jessica Biel, they basically do the one thing that means that he's now able to see what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the only thing we know about him is that they want him, don't they?
What, the baddies want him?
Yeah.
That-
'Cause they're training him as well, aren't they?
But aren't they convinced that he's the only thing that can stop them as well?
Well, they never really explain it. But the bad guys stake out Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, they do know about him. Yeah.
For reasons like, I don't know, perhaps the foresight would be good to launch the nuke and he could tell them where. I honestly don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, before we get to that,
Yeah.
Jessica Biel, as we say, she's around, and Nicolas Cage has got this whole thing where he can only see 2 minutes into the future. His direct future directly impacts him.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
No.
But except once, he saw a premonition of sitting in a diner with Jessica Biel.
Yep.
They don't say how long he's been, because they say that he goes every day, don't they? 8:09, twice a day, in the morning and the evening, because he wasn't sure which 8:09 it was.
Yeah.
Which that makes no sense. Surely it was been dark at night, wouldn't it?
No. No. So
I suppose if he's in.
Which day it is?
No. Sorry, I've written that the Russians stole the nuke 5 weeks ago. For some reason, I wrote that down. So that's happened. That was 5 weeks ago. So for 5 weeks, all that Julianne Moore's been doing for 5 weeks is trying to find a fucking psychic.
Just been going to all the shows in Vegas.
It's like the biggest scam ever. Oh, we need to check this guy out. Penn and Teller. I've heard they're pretty good.
Yeah.
What's that one? With,
I heard there's a clairvoyant tiger. We need to go and see Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, what's that one? Oh, Adele's on next door. Should we just go see that? Her fucking receipts that she's passing through each week.
She tried Cirque du Soleil for many years.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sure that guy caught that guy. He must have known that's premonition there.
It's a premonition. Yeah. No. So he sets up the rule that he can see 2 minutes into future, his own future. But then the only time that's ever been broken is when he saw, however long it was, into his future with Jessica Biel. But also, when does the 2 minutes start?
I think it's a rolling 2 minutes.
Do you think he's constantly seeing 2 minutes into the future, or do you think he does it when he needs to do it? Because I couldn't work that out.
I think he's. I mean, it would be good if he had like a sort of a, the two Ronnies where he's answering a question 2 minutes in the future.
Yeah.
He's actually existing 2 minutes in the future.
Yeah.
I think he must be able to turn it on and off because, towards the end you see Loxton going everywhere. If you had that going all the time,
that's what I thought.
You'd just be like
you'd be
catatonic, wouldn't it? You couldn't exist like that, could you?
Yeah, because you'd be experiencing you'd be constantly experiencing. Yeah, well, like Chris said, you'd just be running 2 minutes fast because it'd be easier for you to just be the 2 minutes forward. Yeah, so I think, you can turn it on and off, okay.
But in theory, that would be fine because you'd just develop a buffer in your brain, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, if it's one event, though, if it's every event...
If it's all of... Yeah, that's what I mean. If it's everything...
You'd struggle, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't. I think your brain would actually just work in like a 2 minute buffer. Yeah,
but if in that 2 minutes you've got like tens of thousands of eventualities going on, surely processing that amount of data is going to...
Well, I think you only experience one outcome.
No, because at the end there's loads of walking around.
So the thing is, by the time, if I'll turn it on and I'll see 2 minutes.
So it's infinite.
So that's the thing that makes no sense.
So when I go, is that?
I mean, that's the thing. That's not just the thing, no. But
can you do the 2 minutes? Go back and do a different 2 minutes. By the time you've done the 2 minutes, have you been? It's too late to then go back. Isn't it?
That's why it doesn't make. Yeah, well, I mean, any sense.
When he goes to the cafe and he meets Jessica Biel, which is a creepy scene because we learn that basically he uses this power to just be a creep, really, doesn't he? By talking to her in every sort of sleazy way he can and getting it wrong over and over again. But
it's just Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it's just Groundhog Day. Yeah.
But in that scene, he appears to be doing that. Like he's going through, like Groundhog Day, they time skip and it's it's days and days and days, isn't it?
Yeah.
In this, it is that he appears to be sat at the counter, going through 2 minutes, then another 2 minutes, then another 2 minutes, which makes no sense, does it?
No.
Because
no, I would say all we've done is rag on this film at this point. I quite like how. I think they do film those bits quite well. I quite like how sometimes you're not aware that was the forward jump.
The loop.
That was the loop. So sometimes will kind of, the camera will just pan past him and he's sitting back at the... I quite like those little stylistic... There's some element of stylized direction here. It's not awfully directed, put it that way.
It is a little bit like Tenet for idiots, though.
It's a bit like Tenet for idiots. Yeah. I don't know, there's just some nice shots. Every so often I was like, I quite like that. Or like, that was
nice locations. I like that we learn that Jessica Biel is... What is she doing? She's teaching Native Americans to speak English or something, even though they can talk.
So can I just tell you that Nicolas Cage came up with the idea that his character to be a Las Vegas magician, and he came up with the idea that she took a job in a Native American reservation at the Grand Canyon. So he basically made that job up for her. Yeah,
that waterfall there, they're all bathing. It's lovely, isn't it? That location where they're...
Yeah,
to get there.
That's the classic Nick Cage, like, oh, we need some Native Americans in it. And, you could be teaching them. Because he's like, oh, there is some shaman that can, like, see into the future, and, like, he just starts saying all that stuff, doesn't he?
That film that's just come out where he's playing himself, like, this really is that film, isn't it? This is Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage in here, isn't it?
Yeah, really. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
It's very much his vibe, down to the creepiness as well.
Yeah.
He's via process of elimination in the future, he's managed to get Jessica Biel to instantly fall in love with him.
Yeah.
Although she doesn't the car say, "Oh, you're not a psychopath, are you?" But
and give him a lift. Yeah, and give him a lift to wherever he's going. Yeah.
And that's because I suppose he's worked out from the future where she's going, hasn't he? So he just goes, "I'm going there as well."
Yeah, I guess so. Which is
because they appear to just live together after this first encounter, don't they? I didn't really get that as well.
No, he's just so good that he's just, like you say, she's just fallen in love with him, I guess.
It's very, very suspicious. Because he's not on the run yet or anything like that. He's just like, he's found her and he's decided, I'm going to use my power to... He's
had and not had the encounter with Julianne Moore.
Oh, in his garage.
In his garage. Now, the hilarious thing about that is they make this huge deal of him like, right, we need to wait 2 minutes, hold on. No, they do this whole big, like, everyone stare at your watches, because we can do things past 2 minutes, but we can't do things... But then the time just... But it's always 2 minutes, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we'll get to that in a minute, because that makes no sense. I've got a question about that.
Yeah, anyway.
They're still on his tail. They're still after him. So are these Russians, who, as Alex said, they aren't Russian. The main guy's got a very weird English accent.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Yeah.
And... Yeah, I know we've already mentioned it, but I think it's worth mentioning again. They just have no discernible plan or
no
motivation. There's nothing other than just it's kind of weird how it's kind of postmodern in that, like, the trope of Russian gangster or Russian terror is so established that the film is like, I'm not even going to tell you anything about them, because you already understand through the language of cinema what they are. You know what I mean?
I would love it. I think I would love it if that was what it was, but it's just not that, is it?
No, it's not that. No, it's like a weird art house thing, isn't it? Where it's like,
they're
we trust you to understand what's going on.
Like the nihilists in Big Lebowski.
Yes, Big Lebowski. Yeah, they are a bit.
Yeah, because they kill the casino bloke, don't they? Don't they kill him that he's had the run-in with earlier?
Yeah.
They kill a random woman who lives opposite Julianne Moore, which leads the Julianne Moore and the FBI to know that they were watching her. So that was a stupid thing to do, because they wouldn't have tipped her off, would they? Wouldn't know.
You know, when Julianne Moore's talking to her assistant guy, and I can't remember what they're chatting about, probably Nicolas Cage, and they come out of the meeting, that guy's like, "Oh, I just thought I'd let you know, the casino guard was kneecapped and knifed in a car park." And she's like, well, you just chose to tell that now. Like, that's a good scene.
Yeah. And also, like I say, I'm convinced that they start... I think it's like a kind of chicken and egg thing. I'm convinced that the terrorists start going after Nicolas Cage because they become convinced he's the only thing that can stop them. But by going after him, they then make it that he can stop them.
But how did they even find him?
No, I don't know.
Why were they after him in the first place?
I don't know. I don't know how they know about him. No.
Because if the thing is like they're thinking, oh, he's the only man who can stop us... Why don't they just get on with it?
And you're right, they never make
if they can get their hands on a nuke.
Yeah, they don't ever make demands, do they?
No.
It's the stupidest... It's such like a... It's the stupidest story I've ever...
It is really bad.
Yeah.
I don't understand this, right? So, Jessica Biel goes on an errand or whatever. Goes to post a letter.
Oh, yeah.
And Julianne Moore's like, look, Nicolas Cage is a psychopath.
Yeah.
A sociopath, sorry. A dangerous sociopath. And you're in trouble. So you've got... But also... Oh, she doesn't explain the time travel, does she? She just says, you've got to give him a drink, but you've got to wait 2 minutes from the last time he interacted with you before you give him the drink.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Don't you think that at this point they should have just stopped writing the script and thought...
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Wait, yeah, hold on, guys. Yeah.
We're writing a film where someone's got to say this line to someone, and then we've got to watch someone wait next to a cup for 2 minutes.
But
And
also, it
everyone keeps
doesn't make
looking at
any
their
sense
watches.
because it's a rolling 2
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, it's always 2 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I guess it gives more theory to the idea that he's turning it on and off.
But
by
also,
choice.
if he's out for a long period of time, any point where he goes 2 minutes, he'll be like, "Why am I lying on the floor? Now I'm in a facility. Oh my god, why am I like?" He would just know, wouldn't he?
No, but also,
The terrorists just need to set off the bomb over 2 minutes after the last time they spoke
They
to
spoke
him.
to him. Yeah, exactly. But also,
Yeah.
if it's that, like, if it is those 2 minutes, why doesn't she just put the thing in the drink before she sees him?
Yeah.
Why don't she get, like, a bottle of Coke, put it in that before she goes in the house and go, "I got you a Coke."
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You don't need to wait 2 minutes, do you?
No, she just needs to be out of his range. Because there's that really weird bit earlier on when he starts looking at the camera and they're like, "Oh, once he's seen you, he's psychically linked to you and he can start seeing, he knows what
Yes.
you're doing
Oh, yeah,
through
yeah,
a
yeah.
camera."
Yeah.
Or something weird like that didn't make any
I
sense.
don't get it.
Yeah.
The funny bit with this was my favourite bit, was that when Jessica Biel has a kind of crisis of like, oh
yeah.
dear, shall I do it?
Yeah.
And so she tells Nicolas Cage, "Oh, the FBI got me and they told me you're a sociopath."
Yeah.
And he looks at her like he's absolutely insane. And so she grabs him, whispers in his ear, and she goes, "Is it true? Are you a sociopath?" Like, that's not what you ask a sociopath. You get the fuck out. You don't just ask quietly and politely, "Is it true?" and expect to get the truthful answer out of him, do you?
Yeah. No, that's ridiculous. No, there's so many ridiculous things in this film. It's like
It's
a
so
catalogue.
poorly written, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's,
I've also there's a bit just before that when one of the FBI people says it just got worse, and I'm like, how can it be worse than there's a nuke in the USA? And there's something about the alert code or whatever, and the big boss, the mustachioed boss, says, "Can someone tell me what my agency, the FBI, is doing about this?" It's like, are you saying that because you think the audience has forgotten that they're like the FBI or something?
Yeah.
Like, whoever says that, like at work? Look, hold on, guys. Can someone tell me what this podcast, the science fiction rating system, thinks about this film?
that guy's whole role is that, because, at the
Yeah.
start, when he first meets Julianne Moore, she's like, "Oh, I'm looking at this clairvoyant," and he says to her, like, "Do you know there's a nuke loose?" Like he says the whole plot then back,
Yeah.
doesn't he? And she's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I know."
And
Imagine if this was like Darren Brown. It'd be quite funny, like.
yeah. And that's the bit where she says, "I believe that the urgency of this situation compels the use of any and all resources to obtain Chris Johnson," who is Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And
But any resources actually relevant to the job,
Yeah.
we're not touching them.
Yeah.
This nuke's been there 30 days, as you say,
Yeah.
and the guy says you've got 5 days to get the clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Right. That's 35 days to track down a nuke.
Yeah.
It can't be that hard.
No, it can't be that hard. No.
if you've got the entire
Yeah.
American military complex,
Yeah.
looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just evacuate the city.
Just give up. Like, you're just
Oh, yeah, 'cause
too
you know
late,
it.
isn't it? Yeah.
This film.
Yeah. But then he does his trick. Sorry, going back to where we were, he does his trick with the TV, doesn't he? Where
Yes,
he can
to
predict.
prove that
he zaps
yeah.
through the TV channels.
Yeah.
One of the things is Doctor Strangelove. One of the things on the TV.
A better film.
Yeah. True.
So they try and catch him, and his good nature is his undoing. Who does he say? Someone from some logs? Some logs.
He
fall on
saves
someone's head, don't
Julianne
they?
Moore from the. So her thing is that she doesn't. Jessica Bilal pushes a car off the thing, but then it just causes this weird like chain of events that end up with
Yeah,
logs
yeah.
just flying off. And he does that great bit where he just stops like that, and then the car just goes like flips over his head or whatever. Like there's lots of bits like that, aren't there, where he just pauses and a bullet goes past him or something.
And terrible CG.
Oh God, yeah.
Actually, this has got this guy directed Die Another Day. It got that similar sort of bad CG from Die Another Day.
Yeah.
There's a train, isn't there, like a train and track that they kind of do like a Matrix turnaround, and it looks like looks awful.
Yeah.
Looks like I made it. It looks really, really bad.
Yeah, but
They catch him,
yeah,
and we get an homage to Clockwork Orange.
yeah,
But
He really loves Kubrick.
yeah.
does he? Is that a thing?
Well, no, because there's Doctor Strangelove being on the TV as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, it's the director, probably not Nicolas Cage. Not Nicolas Cage. But these like they've got this. They're holding his eyes open, aren't they? Like
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange, but they are designed. It's the worst designed pair of glasses ever, isn't it? Like what's
Yeah.
they're so over-engineered, like massive bits of metal sticking out the side, and
But also, how do they think that this is gonna? Because they're just like, oh, we just want you to
watch TV.
watch TV, find the bomb.
Yeah,
What?
they already know. He's told them repeatedly it's linked to events
Yeah.
that affect him
And
personally,
and only
right?
2 minutes as well.
And there's nothing on TV to do
No.
with him.
And he doesn't know how his power works, does he? He doesn't
Not really,
seem
no.
to know. He was born
He
with
knows
it.
the woman makes it stronger.
Yep, and he was born
Yeah.
with it, and he's been tested all his life by scientists somehow.
Oh, he had 36 hours with the cards out of Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
and he says that one.
You think they would have just locked him up in some facility
yeah,
and used him as like some sort of pre-crime thing?
yeah, totally, yeah.
Well, no, because again, how would you? Because he'd only got his own.
You have to
His own future.
all be crimes involving him.
Yeah, but all you do, you just plug him into like this video net of the whole country. So he was actually interacting.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're doing with the
everything.
news, isn't it? Because he would have
Yeah.
just watched that because he's strapped to a
I mean,
chair.
define how what interacting is. It is like the passage of information, or
Yeah. He'd be useful in like a SWAT team, wouldn't he?
it'd be useful. What do they call it? The guy at the back of like who's on the computers when the
The guy in
like
the
Mission
chair.
Impossible. The guy in the chair. He'd be a good guy in the chair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
I mean,
he's,
they don't do that. They make him watch TV.
and he
Really,
sees his girlfriend explode.
the FBI boss at this point should walk in and go, right, Julianne, I've given you so much slack. You've brought him in and your plan is to sit in a concrete room and watch TV. This was the plan all along. I'm shutting you down. But
Yeah.
no, they don't shut him down.
No.
And as Alex says, for reasons I don't really understand, he sees a premonition of a TV report, which is terribly acted.
Yeah, yeah.
And of Jessica Biel strapped to a chair covered in dynamite.
Yeah, and then exploding.
But like the woman doing the like the reporter, she's like, oh yeah, we're here on the rooftop, and then it blows up. She goes, oh no, it looks like, oh no, the victim is, I just can't talk.
Yeah.
It's just,
But
they clearly didn't write a script, did they?
Yeah,
for that bit.
yeah, just said just improvise. But again, I would say they've done because can't he only see it a bit further because it's her? So didn't the terrorists do the only thing that meant he could see their actions?
I mean, but again, yeah, why have they kidnapped her? What is the relevance to the nuke going off?
I don't know. No,
What are they? They're trying to distract him from nuke
If anything, they're bringing him into it and
yeah, they make it.
speeding up
Yeah.
their own destruction.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I suppose, no, I guess though, if you think about the end of the film, I suppose it does work as a distraction, doesn't it? Because the nuke does go off.
Well,
They've got to cut some slack there. That's terrorists 1, FBI 0, I think,
yeah. Well, he knows it's 2 hours. They've got 2 hours basically
for reasons.
for reasons. Maybe there was a time on the news report. I don't know. And then he only gets killed.
Well, he escapes, doesn't he?
He
And then,
escapes.
but then doesn't really escape. Yeah, and he
No.
goes on the roof. Oh god, yeah, this bit's so stupid, isn't it? Because he's like, oh yeah, we need to track him down. So he goes
Yeah.
on the roof, gets shot by a sniper, and then
Yeah.
but then like the sniper turns around and gets a gun out. A helicopter comes down and kills him. Julianne Moore
Yeah.
comes on the roof, and she's like, oh, he's like, well, that didn't work because I know we didn't learn anything at all. We just shot him. So stupid. It's like, what was the point?
Yeah,
of
is
that?
it the helicopter that comes up and they're just like
Guns him down. Yeah,
guns him down like he was
so they
probably
learnt nothing.
yeah
Didn't see that.
yeah.
They
No.
didn't interrogate or anything. All they know was a man was trying to shoot Nicolas Cage on a roof. What roof is that? Oh, the roof that Jessica Biel's on, I suppose.
Yeah.
because they know he's going to go there.
Yeah. And then there's the bit. So then there's the bit when him and the team are going across like with the baddies like shooting and all that.
Yeah.
But you said he'd be really good to have in a SEAL team. Well, I don't normally like doing these mistake things, but at 1:19, him and the team are walking across a big because he's all like, "All right, do everything I say, and you'll
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
alive." And he's all like, "Stop," like that, and he sees bombs and stuff like that. But at 1:19, they're walking across, and one of his team just gets shot and falls on the floor. And then I was like, why didn't he save him? But then it cuts, and you see them walking again from a different angle, and the same guy is shot again. So either they're being really lazy and just recycling the same shot, or the same guy gets shot twice, And Nicolas Cage doesn't save him either time.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I could have saved him.
Yeah.
And then he's did it. He's like, no, I prefer the version where he died.
Yeah, so it's either really shit editing because they just used the same bit of footage twice, or he's gone in the loop and allowed the bloke to die twice.
Yeah.
Either way, and no one's bothered. No one's like, oh man, we just lost like Dave back there or whatever. Like they just don't see it. It's really weird.
I choose to believe it's both things.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I choose to believe time travel isn't possible.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Impossible, actually.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we can go forward, can't you? But it's not time travel, is it?
Yeah, I mean, time travel outside of the normal passage of the universe.
Yeah. It wouldn't be time travel, it would just be time taking a break.
Yeah.
If you froze yourself for a bit and went into the future.
Yeah. I quite like the bit where he splits into loads of Nicolas Cages and walks around. I quite like that bit.
Well, no, it's stupid.
No? Okay.
Especially because there's one bit where they show two versions of him checking out the same. They look over like a little railing like this, and then another one of him walks past the other one to check the railing again.
I think there must have been like a naked woman down there, and he uses two of his infinite checks.
It'd be great if he waved at himself. Oh, hi. What are you doing? Oh, there's a woman there. Yeah. Oh, look. A mouse.
He uses two of his infinite checks to check her out.
Yeah.
But if you had this power, you wouldn't be all angsty like this. You'd just be a bit of a dick, wouldn't you? Just be like, well, it's over there.
He's a dick, isn't he?
You'd be more of a dick. I think you'd just be really arrogant because you're superhuman. You can't die, can you?
He's pretty arrogant, though. He's very...
I don't know if you'd even... I guess he's just trying to save her, isn't he? But...
I mean, yeah, because he doesn't agree to save the 8 million that's going to get blown up until Jessica Biel gets strapped to a chair.
Yeah, that's true.
He's quite selfish.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
They walk around a bit. They find Jessica Biel.
The black guy dies. And the evil
Yeah.
French woman dies.
Oh, yeah, there's in like really random extreme shootout
Yeah.
next to a bin or something like that. It's
Yeah.
very strange. Yeah, he saves Jessica Biel and then he's like, oh, guys, I fucked up. And the nuke goes off.
Yeah.
It's a pathetic nuke, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty
It's not
pathetic.
The
great
effect
news.
is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like launching like weird like Cheetos at them. Like, and, you know,
I think
like,
it was like
weird-
really early particle generation, or
This is 2007.
Yeah.
still
Weird.
quite early, I think.
This
for
is
that.
10 years after Armageddon.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That did this
Oh.
a lot better, didn't it? Really? Come on, this is just poor work.
Yeah.
And
He says,
he dies.
yeah, he says he's made a mistake, and they're just like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
What mistake did he make?
I don't know. Everyone dies, and then it jumps back, and I worked it out. It jumps back 45
isn't it?
minutes in the film. I don't know
It's
how
a day,
long.
isn't
Is it
it?
a day?
It's oh no, it can't pass more than a day. It's a day. It's when he wakes up in bed
Yes.
with her, isn't it?
Before all the yeah. So how the fuck the what? What does that mean?
Well, no one. I mean, who knows? The worst thing is, right? He wakes up with a newfound willingness to get on with it. Walks out, goes straight to Julianne Moore and goes, right, is it time? Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
The better film is that second time round, isn't it? The film
Yeah.
you don't see,
Yeah.
where he just wakes up and goes, right, let's get on with it, and does it, that's the better film.
Yeah.
But it cuts.
Yeah, and also just the fact is that however watching this for the first time, maybe you'd be like, "Oh, whoa, what? He died." But then 10 minutes later, yeah, you're just like, "No, hold on. This is really unsatisfying because I now don't know what happened." For that one good like, "Oh, what?" It's not worth then the ending where he's like, "Yeah, just leave her out of it and we'll go sort this nuke out."
Do you think they planned a sequel? It can't be that,
Yeah,
can it?
I think they did.
What weird sequel? So half the sequel.
I think I read that they did want to do a sequel.
But then, what would half the sequel be? The next
it'd be-
45 minutes.
It'd be a Back to the Future 2 sort of thing, where
He's
he'd be
going to
going
launch a
through
whole
the same...
franchise.
he'd
Yeah,
go through
seeing the
day,
same.
wouldn't he? Yeah.
God, that would be boring.
Do you know what the Russian title for this translates to?
Some loyal men destroy American enemy.
The Prophet. That's what it translates.
Oh, that's less exciting.
Yeah, and also here's a bit of techie stuff for you. Although most of the film was shot in HD with Panavision Genesis cameras, about a week of shooting was done on 35mm camera because the location was forecast to be 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and the filmmakers were concerned that the relatively new and under-tested Genesis would overheat and fail. So there you go.
You know, it comes from a Philip K. Dick short story.
Yes.
Did you know that in that short story, he's a mutant?
Yeah. So
They're hunting him down.
Yeah, I read that there's an entirely different. The original first draft of the script is very different of this.
Yeah, he's a human, isn't he? But he's like a more sort of sympathetic character. And
yes, yeah.
What was the thing I wrote down? One of the lines. The second rewrite completely eliminated any anti-authoritarian themes.
Yeah.
So if it had anything to say, they excised it before it got to the screen, basically.
Yeah. Yeah,
which
basically.
is telling, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. The original short story had a distinct tone of racist paranoia. The motivation for the pursuit of Chris was changed from an ironclad policy of exterminating mutations to a manipulative Department of Homeland Security agents' obsessive search to unconventional assets in the war on terror, which is kind of that's the kind of leftover for the Julianne Moore thing, isn't it? That they want him.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There was also a 14-part TV series called Looking for Stars, in which people competed to win a role in this film.
Oh.
Which was won by Marcus Welch of Grand Rapids.
And who did he play? Who was he in it?
I don't know, actually. I don't know who he's in. I'm not sure.
No.
I don't know, perhaps he was cut. I don't know. Is he? It probably wasn't a big role, was it?
No.
I mean, he's not on the Wikipedia list.
I doubt it'd be a speaking role.
Yeah, no, kind of be.
You think after a 14-week TV show, at least give him one line, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to look him up. Hang on. Talk among yourself. Alex, what did you think of the film overall? He's not on IMDb at all. He's not credited.
Noises.
I like Nicolas Cage, and I like that. I like his rubbish films. This is right on the line of so stupid it's kind of entertaining, but I don't think, even for me, and I like trash, for me, it doesn't go over into the ridiculous. It doesn't walk into the ridiculous enough. It stays a bit. You do spend too much time in this film just being like, no, what? No, his power doesn't work like that. Like, no, but he just said you spend so much time trying to work out the rules of his power that it just gets a bit annoying after a while. And it's not like, you're right, it is a bit like Tenet, and I have my issues with that kind of because I think, what he does sometimes is he's like, he kind of, it's so clever, you just don't understand it, like that.
Yeah.
But in that way, he's obtruse, he doesn't tell you everything, he kind of leaves it. But this film keeps telling you things that go against what you know already, so it just makes it confusing. And,
Yeah.
I like some of the... Yeah, like I say, some of the stylised shots I thought were quite nice, and I kind of like how ridiculous Julianne Moore is and how stupid it all is, but it doesn't lean into it enough for me.
Do you not think also there's nothing happening?
Yeah, not really.
A lot of this film, nothing really happens.
There's not
does
much
it?
happening.
No. It takes too long.
You could tell this story in half an hour,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, it takes too long. And as you say, a better film would have gone to that big jump back
to the Luke
quicker.
Caster.
Yeah, and then gone back, and then you would have
back to it
seen
again.
an exciting... he's just going to...
You want the under the sea ball, don't you? Basically, from back to front. You want that thing. More films should do it. I think it's a good underexploited thing. Not the ball itself, but like the dance. So that idea.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement. I just thought it was so stupid I couldn't even really engage with it because at every point you're like, oh no, that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I couldn't really latch onto it, and as you say, there wasn't really much going on, so I didn't really feel like I was missing out.
No.
Well, and also I think the potential for this idea is actually massive.
Yeah.
Well,
it's something, isn't there?
It's kind of, isn't it? Live, die, repeat. Isn't it a bit that?
It's a little bit of everything, but I mean, if this guy has a 2-minute like buffer, he would be unstoppable, and I do think it would be kind of an interesting superhero story.
I agree. Like, they don't lean hard enough into that. That scene in the diner when he's going through scenarios over and over again. That's the film, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like,
And what's fun,
like
that's what's fun about it.
quick loading in like Quake or something, isn't it? Where like you save every 5 seconds and quick load.
Yeah.
Save.
corner.
I've got here that it's like save scumming. That's what.
Well, that's
Is that the same
yeah.
thing? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because like Chris says, like you set it up, whatever, and then you have this amazing like 5-minute scene where he gets everything right, don't you? Like some incredible, ridiculous way.
Yeah. And it's just the nuke thing. I think if it was just
and also them terrorists. I mean, completely.
Yeah.
They might as well not been there, really. I mean, it's like
no, they're so stupid.
I mean, it's weirdly this film and next week's film have got a lot in common. I think in terms of like problems with. Well, I'll wait till next week to say it, but
I don't know. I think this one really takes the biscuit.
I think this, I won't talk about next week's yet, but yes, I agree with you both. It's a mess. There's no peril. The script's terrible. Your central character's a creep.
Yeah, he's a bit.
Nothing makes any sense.
Yeah.
And nothing really happens.
And it's not loyal to. Have you read the original short story? The original.
I haven't. No.
It's obviously not loyal to it at all.
It sounds completely different from the thing I read. And like you say, Alex, it's not anywhere near tipping into the so bad it's good category at all, is it? It's the so bland it's bland category, really.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So
TM.
bland it's bland.
So bland it's bland.
So where's
it going to go?
Where is it going? I don't think it's the bottom. Oh, but it's not.
What have we got that's like it?
Yeah, I was trying to think what's like it.
Do you think his other one, Humanity Bureau, do you think it was like that, or was that a worse film?
Where's that?
That was more incompetently made, wasn't it, Humanity Bureau, actually? It was a lot cheaper and a lot...
Yeah. Where is that? I can't find that.
It's really far
What was that
down.
other one where,
2, 3,
I don't know
5.
if we've done it yet, where people... they can change the time if they're wearing a hat.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Matt Damon, yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. That's called the Something Bureau, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done that, haven't we?
No, we haven't done
No,
that.
we haven't. That's not. Is that even sci-fi?
The Adjustment Bureau.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is a fucking stupid.
I thought we'd done that for some reason.
That is
I don't think we have done that, no, but
no.
it's one we can do.
I don't think it's as bad as Humanity Bureau.
No.
I don't think it's as bad as After Earth.
Have we got more like... It's like a bad 90s... It's a bit like Universal Soldier. Where's that? That kind of bad.
Yeah, it's about. Yeah.
I can't find that.
Knights.
Too many...
Or
Knights.
Knights.
Universal Soldier is 200.
Universal, yeah, it's probably worse than Universal Soldier, but it's around there.
Is it worse than Nemesis?
No, Nemesis is worse. I'd say.
No.
So we're saying 201?
Yeah,
The second week in a row we've gone for the 201.
yeah.
Maybe the secret to our newfound popularity is putting films at 201 in the list, and so we should keep doing that every week.
There's a lot of people monitoring that stat.
Yeah, maybe.
That was the
Maybe
important
it
one
was,
for them. I forgot what the film's even called. Next. Yeah.
Next.
Terrible. Have you seen the trailer for it?
No.
Which basically ruins the end of the film.
Oh,
It, like,
what?
shows you the explosion at the end of the film and them all dying at the end of the film.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Do you
I suppose
think
it's the one shot they've got to show, isn't it?
do
The
they
one big
think
thing
they
they've
just
got to
knew
show.
that it was a losing battle, or
Well, I just think if you want to do a trailer, what else can you possibly show? Like,
how high was he at
logs
this
falling down a
point?
tree.
How high was Cage at this point? What had he just done?
When was
is-
Con Air?
Is it Con
Or
Air?
way
Is it
of 90s.
Face Off? Is it Face
No.
Off? No.
Con Air's 90s. Face Off's 90s. This is later than that. This is National Treasure sort of time, isn't it? I think.
Oh, okay. He was on the wane, as it were.
Yeah, National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets count the same year. So this is the end of his.
Ah, yeah. This is the
you know,
end.
the drop is about
Yeah.
to come.
He's about to buy that Tyrannosaurus
Yeah.
Rex skull that will bankrupt him.
Yeah, the tax man comes calling and goes, "Can you account for this T-Rex skull, Mr. Cage?"
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh dear.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
If you need me, I'll be in my crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's such a weird man,
He is a weird man.
but fascinating.
Still not seen that recent film with him. that?
I haven't watched it yet. No.
It's supposed to be quite entertaining. It just is what it is. I haven't seen it either. It's just supposed to be very trashy, but quite fun. Fun trash.
I think he's done some good stuff in recent years. Pig
Was brilliant. That was really good.
What's the one with the chainsaw? That's a really good film.
Mandy.
That's
Really good. Yeah.
He's done some alright stuff.
Yeah. But
Right.
still a lot of rubbish as well.
Immeasurable amounts of rubbish.
Yeah.
I mean, really, now that Bruce Willis has gone crackers and can't do anything else, Nicolas Cage is going to take over his mantle, isn't he? He's like the number one,
probably.
like straight to DVD dude.
Yeah, probably.
He's the new.
Not gone crackers, a bit insensitive, isn't it? Sorry, Bruce Willis. Well, he has.
Crackers.
He has, isn't he? Poor bloke. Right. Next week, we're following Jessica Biel back to her house. She's saying, she walks in the door and says, and sees Justin Timberlake, and Justin goes, "Oh, what have you been up to, Jessica?" And she goes, "I've been making this terrible film called Next."
Yeah, went to snog.
And she says, "What have you been doing?" And he says, "I've been making opinion rescinded film called In Time," and that will be next week. We'll follow him back out the door and down the road to see that film.
How strange.
There's a link.
There's a link.
Yeah.
Any correspondence apart from just some mad love for Star Trek Nemesis?
I mean, no correspondence, but a lot of people are listening. So, guys, get in touch.
Yeah.
Sci-fi rating on the socials.
Hey, classic us. We had the biggest pod ever and then went away for 2 weeks and didn't put any content up.
That's not our fault.
It's what we do.
We're on the yacht.
Yeah, it's what we do, man.
It is classy.
We're negging our own audience.
Just when things look like they might be taking off,
Yeah,
We
fuck it all
disappear
up.
for 3 weeks.
go on holiday.
Yeah, that works.
Science fiction rating system at gmail.com. Get in touch. If you want merch, get it, because it's going away very soon.
Oh, really?
For reasons that I won't discuss on air.
Oh.
I'll discuss that off air. And
Interesting.
yeah, sci-fi rating on the socials. Let us know what films to watch. Let us know if there's any demand for this. We floated the idea that there's certain films that we kind of pissed away in the early days when we weren't really watching them properly and
it's
doing 3 a week.
interesting. Yeah.
We think we might return to some of those.
Under the old system.
Yeah, the very early days. So we got some real big hitters that were kind of, as I say, pissed away.
One of us talked about for 15 minutes and then we went, number 5.
Yeah. Including like the first RoboCop, Aliens, all sorts of stuff.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we might discuss that at some point. Anyway, right. Join us for that in the future, and we'll see you all next week with In Time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Oh.
Bye.